Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear back in the studio. Well, the weather is so beautiful. It's not as cold as Canada, so we can still manage it. But it is a little bit cold for some of us that have still lived there, even over the last 2 decades. The traveling was very good. As usual, it is a very busy station back, from making my way from North London down here this morning. And I'll be telling you a little bit. I'm sure you're aware where we are. But right behind me, that is where the inquiry is going on, the COVID inquiry. I'm sure many of us around the world were affected one way or the other during that period of the COVID, as it was coming out around 2019. This is Starr Radio UK reporting right outside the COVID inquiry that is taking place. It has been going on for some weeks now. We will be catching up with the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, I believe sometime next week. But for now, we are somewhere not too far from Paddington, West Brom in West London. It's very busy, so there will be some noise at the background. But let me come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. Well, the family, are doing very well. It's been a very 2 days in a row, but we're grateful that everything is back to normal. It's just a normal thing, but we're grateful that the family has gone to school and they're doing very well. Well, I can tell you that as it is right now, there are no restriction on passengers that are traveling to Nigeria from any country when it comes to COVID. But let's go and look at what the UK government is saying, if there's any kind of update as well. Well, the last update, that was put on the UK government website says, and I quote, "Coronavirus has been removed. The COVID-19 restriction, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has actually removed that." So as we speak right now today, the 29th day of the month of November on the Starr Radio UK, there is no COVID restriction in Nigeria. The question you did ask is whether there is any kind of inquiries going on. As I can say, there's nothing of such that I can see, and there's nothing of such that is out there to indicate that maybe a COVID inquiry would definitely be propped up by the new administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But what I can tell you is that, right in UK, like you said, it's not a criminal offense. And right today, we have the former Secretary of State for the Health and Social Care. I've been inside. I've just come out because we can't record from inside. That is why we are outside in the journalist pool where we are recording from this morning. But I can tell you that she's already been going through a lot of questions, and she will be coming again, I believe, tomorrow. But like I said, this is not a criminal offense. It's just to find out what actually took place. I think this week as well, we saw the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, was here as well. And we are also expecting more of those within the cabinet and those outside the cabinet that will be here as well, given what they know and what should have been done differently during the period of the COVID-19. Let us remember that thousands of people died right here in UK, as many thousand people died around the world. I got caught up, just to let you know, while I was making my way back, from Nigeria, I had, a transit, and that transit meant that the country I was traveling through, even though I wasn't in that country, it was just passing through, I was still kept into what they called the COVID restriction hotels that I stayed for a couple of days before I was allowed to go home. Well, looking at the aviation sector in Nigeria, remember that we've been told that the Nigerian air will be up and running. Many Nigerians will have the opportunity to travel. That is all lies anyway, because the new aviation minister is not telling us that, a couple of things that have been put together, a monopoly was played out where the Ethiopian airline were almost given a 5-year tax, free to be able to operate on Nigeria. The former aviation minister told us that the airline will be up and running. They painted what they call the Nigerian air all the way from Ethiopia, drive it into Nigeria, and all these means that an inquiry needs to come through. Also, we have been told that the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, also should be telling us a little bit more about what happened when Nigeria has literally gone into bankrupt. The question is, can we set up inquiries like these in the future and right now to be able to confirm to many Nigerians that the new administration will be different from the old administration? I'm not too sure whether that is going to happen anytime soon, but like I said, many Nigerians today would love to see a lot of inquiries. And the problem again is when inquiries happen, what do we take out of it? There's so many inquiries that have been done in Nigeria, but most of these inquiries have been left under the desk, and that means that nothing has been done to get it going, and the recommendation as well. Well, until, nothing about, that is the Naira note. Remember you asked me if I will be able to spend these. It is still a legal tender, and that literally means that, as long as I still have this Naira, I will still be able to, to spend it as well. You're quite right. This morning, the Supreme Court is actually saying that, the old Naira note is still a legal tender, and many Nigerians that have it can still be able to spend it. Like you said, Emefiele, decided, to change, that old Naira note to the new one. It created a lot of where many Nigerians end up buying money, and, even a lot of us were concerned in terms of the color coding as well. But the Supreme Court today has now ruled that the old Naira note domination of the 200 Naira, the 500 Naira, and the 1,000 Naira continue to exist with the new note till further notice. Starr Radio UK reporting right now from the COVID inquiry in central London. I come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. Well, the Igbos believe that, the targeting of their property is what is currently going on in Lagos State as we speak right now. That literally means that, a lot of them are concerned, but it seems that, the Lagos State Commissioner, disagree on that. And this morning, the airline says Lagos demolition is not targeting a particular group in Lagos State. The Lagos State Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Oluyinka Olumide, has refuted claims that the ongoing demolition by the current administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is targeting the Southeasterner. According to Olumide, the demolished buildings in the state were constructed without approval from any of its agency. Some of the houses that have been demolished, the question is, how did we get to where those houses were built in the first place? It just shows the kind of corruption that goes on again and again in Nigeria, not just in Lagos State, across almost every state. If this demolition has, if this building has been up to year and 2 years, people have been living in there, who guaranteed the planning, who gave the instruction to go ahead and build on that, knowing fully well that these are pathway for the canal that shouldn't have been built in the first place. So there's a lot of corruption that went on, but some of those people that live in these buildings are now voicing out to say it seems that it's a target. But the Lagos says, according to Lumide, the demolished building in the state were constructed without any approval. He made these in a media presentation yesterday. There have been unverified claims on the social media that demolishing the people from the southeastern part of Nigeria, when the anchor asked him whether the demolished were targeting the Igbos. It is unfortunate that maybe what have of recent happened to concern those from certain part of the country, but it is not a target. It is just that those buildings were built without proper approval and planning. Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. I hope you can hear me back in the studio.
4 minutes,
Okay, bear with me. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes, go ahead.
I'll have a shout. I'll give up a shout.
Okay, you should have a grab in front of me. I don't know how long it is.
Well, like the commissioner said, most of those buildings, were not approved. These are waterways, and you don't build on the waterways. But what has happened is, individuals have been, filling those places, and they've been selling it out, and many people bought into it, and those buildings has now been taken down. But it seems that more of those that bought those buildings are from the southeast, even though we know that other region has paid and bought and built houses there. The Lagos State government announced that the removal of the perimeter fence within the 2 meters of the drainage channels on the Norman Williams Awolowo Ribadu roads in Ikoyi State, that the Lagos State government may demolish illegal structure that are drainage system in Agogo, Ajara Conversion, Oshakpa, Ora Estate along Ikota River State from even next week. So more buildings will still go down. The question is, who then pay the compensation for this building that have been pulled down? Well, we talked about this last week. The governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, is not doing very well. He's a very, very, sick man. He needs to take care of himself, but he refused to also hand over to his deputy. We thought that last week, the House of Assembly will be able to change things around and pull what we call the Ondo State governor out of office and allow the deputy to go through. But unfortunately, the Ondo crisis continues to worsen as I speak to you this morning. And what we are even getting is that the Ondo State House of Assembly has won against violating the resolution of President Bola Tinubu's meeting with the members of the House and other stakeholders in the state. The House held its preliminary section Tuesday after the Friday meeting. At the end of the Tuesday preliminary, the Speaker of the Assembly, Mr. Olamide Oladeje, disclosed that as part of the resolution reached at the meeting with Tinubu, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa, was asked to write an updated resignation letter to the President. The question is, are they trying to remove the deputy even though the governor himself is not doing very well? Well, it seems that you will get it because it seems that the rubber stamp, senator will stamp that. But the question is, there's nothing wrong in borrowing, but it is about the use of the borrowing itself. We saw Buhari borrow so much. We are now still bankrupted because most of the borrowings were probably not channeled or not used properly, or sometimes been squandered away, just like the aviation sector as well. You're quite right, and I'll be discussing a little bit more onto that later on when we get to the studio at 1800 hours during the Niger Voices, where we talk about, this borrowing and what impact is it going to create. More Nigerians are concerned that the borrowing, as we speak right now, is not just, bringing a lot of pressure, but the question is, what will be used, when it comes to this borrowing. Tinubu will arrive, if he hasn't done that already, because I've not been following what is happening in Abuja this morning before coming to you. But Tinubu arrived at the National Assembly with what we call the 2024 budget presentation. The president got to the National Assembly at about 11:04, so that means that as we're coming live to you, the president has already arrived at the National Assembly. The Federal Executive Council, as of Monday, approved 27.5 trillion naira for the appropriation of the 2024 as well. This is increased from the 26.1 trillion earlier considered by the council. That's a staggering amount of money. Would that be able to be used to stabilize the economy? As we know that there's so much inflation in the country, and that is creating a lot of problem as well. Ahead of the budget presentation, Tinubu, 3 weeks ago, forwarded to both the chambers of the National Assembly the 2024-2026 MTF and the fiscal strategy paper to the sum of 26.1 trillion naira. Starr Radio UK morning show in a very beautiful weather, right opposite me at the very center of the COVID-19 inquiry that started some few weeks back. We're just going to give you a quick snip because we need to go to the PMQ at about 12 noon later on. Let's go straight to it. The minister restated the federal government commitment to upgrade the police force to global standard. Many Nigerians continue to complain about the police force in the country. Even the military, yesterday talked about, the police inspector general Toku said that it seems that the military continue to invade the police station, like we talked about before. Remember that the NSAS was because of the brutality of the police that led to many Nigerians being killed, and some had to leave the offshore of the country. Ondo State again will be spending 12 billion naira annually to prevent the threat of malaria, according to the official. Again, Reps Inquiry Water Resources Ministry for spending 4 billion naira on recruitment of 100 sanitation personnel. You wonder how come you are spending 4 billion just to recruit 100 individuals. It is just part of the corruption that continues in Nigeria. EFCC received $54,000 tramadol bribe money from the custom. Let's speak on that and then take you straight to the social media at exactly 11:28 this morning. Still from the COVID inquiry behind me, agencies that value up to 850. The Tinkan Island Port Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has handed over what they call $54,000 tramadol bribe money to the EFCC. According to the report, the Custom Area Controller of Tinkan Island Port Command, Dera Indidi, disclosed this at the handover of the money to the EFCC Zonal Commander in Lagos yesterday. Once again, we'll be talking more about that later on, the corruption system in Nigeria. What can Bola Tinubu do differently to curb corruption? Because of the time, I'm going to take us straight to what is happening on the social media. But like I said, I'll be telling you more when we go back inside. I'll be feeding back into the Starr Radio UK so that we can keep up to what is happening in the COVID inquiry as well. So what are we looking at trending this morning? It seems that Airpeace is trending. Mohbad case is still trending. Remember that Mohbad was killed from what people are saying, but the inquiry has already started in Lagos State, but we'll be following that and I'll be reporting on that later on as well. Seun Kuti is trending, Kogi State is trending, but most importantly, the Supreme Court is trending. A lot is talking about the new Naira note, and let's see how Nigerians are reacting to that this morning on the social media. According to Aga Richard says, and I quote, "Na una business. What we want is the cheap food. Nothing concern us with the old or the new Naira note." And also this one said, "This is a good news coming from Michael Oyewole. Everyone will be at peace, coming from Balogun Rilwan. This is good, quite interesting. So it seems that many Nigerians are pleased that the old Naira note will still be used indefinitely. Let's talk about what is also trending when it comes to Nigeria on the social media this morning. Once again, many Nigerians rely on this platform to get their message out. Let's go straight to the PMQ. The Prime Minister, government in exile, Simon Ekpa, 1 hour ago. The Nigerian police confirmed that the Nigerian army is a terrorist group and acted like Boko Haram. This is a man who went to the National Assembly to cry alongside the Boko Haram commander, and this is going in accordance with the headline where the military invaded the police station, killed as many of individuals of the police officer. But according to the report coming out, Nigerian army acted like Boko Haram terrorists by attacking Adamawa police headquarters. This is actually coming from the IG, the Inspector General of Police. The question I should ask our listener this morning is the Nigerian military now a Boko Haram? Starr Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio. Well, you can just have a look and tell. You can tell that it is a busy, and I think you get busy depending on who is in there. You're right, there are foreign reporters here as well. Remember that there's still another, ongoing development in China as we speak right now. We're not too sure what is happening there. The hospitals are getting very busy, and I can tell you, yes, it is very busy. Also, a lot of journalists out there taking note and reporting back, to their different various of media platforms. And like I said, later on I'll be heading back inside, where I would also continue to monitor that for a few more hours before we head out and start making our way into the studio for the most important program, Naija Voices. What we'll be discussing is 26 trillion naira in trillion able to stabilize Nigeria. How do we curb the corruption? Can we set up inquiry and make sure that we finish those inquiries and look into it and make that into viable? We'll also be discussing this, what we was discussing on Saturday when Professor Adebanji Akintoye told us the way forward on the Yoruba nation, and also I'll be telling you a little bit more about the Biafra self-determination campaign as well. So for now, I'm going to report back again to you. I'm going to return back to you in the studio where we take it from there, Mr. Archie. Thank you so much, Mr. Archie. Bye for now. Well, Itemi, I wonder if I've just come out of the Starr Radio UK, as you can tell there. I'm not going to stay too long outside because it's quite a little bit cold. I've got to get back inside, but I'm just going to talk a little bit so that a lot of us see about Nigeria is a country. It's not a country that works because we don't have a kind of a system that is set up like this. So I just want to do maybe another half an hour and then I will make my way back inside. Mo kí gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá níbi tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Orúkọ mi náà ni Ọláyọmí Kóìkì tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí KOIKIMEDIA, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Níbi tí àwa yìí ni wọ́n ń pè ní Central London. I'm going to show you the front, I'm going to show you the back. There's a lot happening. There's the COVID inquiry that is going on right here. And I say good morning once again. We couldn't connect all the platform, but hopefully we see if we can get some of the other platform in quickly. Make sure we get the other people in as well. 1 minute to those of you that are watching us. Mokiwa Dani Atubawa Laro. Moki Professor Adebanji Akintoye, then Mokiba Bawa Oloye Doc itself. Mokiwa Alain Moni KOIKIMEDIA, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Now, torí àsìkò, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tá bá ń sọ fún wa pé ní country, tó bá jẹ́ pé a bá ní country ni ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ti ṣẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà, ó jẹ́ ká ti ṣe kíni, tó jẹ́ ká ti ṣe a lot of inquiries lé lórí. Ìtọ́ṣe inquiry gan lé lórí, what has been the outcome? Nothing more than the fact that many people today do not still believe that àwa tá à ń sọ fún yín pé Yorùbá nation òun nìkan ni ó lè ṣe, Yorùbá nation òun nìkan ni ìgbàlà. Nigeria ti fail wa, ó dẹ̀ ti fail wa, drastically, and it is time that we let it go. But ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín ẹ fẹ́ yẹ kí I let Nigeria go. You still want us to keep Nigeria for the corrupt politicians. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fẹ́yìn ọmọ Yorùbá pé àwa kan àwọn ò ní gbà, gbogbo ìgbà la máa fi gbogbo tí ó jẹ́ ká fi sọ fún yín pé Nigeria, it is gone. It is gone and it is not going to come back anytime soon. But ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ṣì believe in it. How do we how do we continue to tell you it is not working? I can pull this up now because of the code, while I'm trying to connect my other platforms quickly. So, Boki Bogwale and Consistent, in Wednesday, let me show you the back view of where we are right now. I know some of you would love to see what is happening at the back view. So, that is the back view right there. Thank you, our Lori platforms. We have all the platforms running right now. And I say good morning once again. Eminoni, Ola Yomi Koiki, Tibugoyi Mosi, KOIKIMEDIA, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Iwana Amadi Lowa Rekwe, why has Nigeria failed? The reason Nigeria should fail is because we have been told lies upon lies for a very long time. So, our good to Todani, this country, Nigeria, this country that has become, a burden for every one of us. It is a burden and it remains a big burden until everyone accepts our fate that the country failed us all. In the back view, just a little bit of what is happening at the back there, so you can see Fanfanensi and Wowa. A lot of movement. Let me hold this for now. So you can see the back view. That is the back view there. So I'm going to bring it back to my face because I move too much. So at least you have an idea what it looks like at the back. Now, inquiries. What is the importance of an inquiry? Inquiry is to detect and find solution to what has happened in the past and what has happened. That is my press. I'm going back inside, but Tabawa Ninule Anile, she live video. That is the reason why Timothy Wasita, that's our report. Now, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èyí tí à ń sọ fún ní gbogbo ìgbà pé mo kẹ́gbọ́n mi Ruby Giant and the rest of you that have joined us. I'm actually at the COVID inquiry this morning where there is a lot going on behind there. There's a lot of journalists as well that are right here, trying to find out what happened during the COVID. COVID, how it affected millions and millions of people from around the world. Now, Nigeria has affected millions of people. We have 200 million. And literally, this man, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not too far away from Paddington Station, which is just about less than 5 minutes walk from here because I came through Paddington. Now, ìbéèrè tí mò ń bi ọmọ Yorùbá láàárọ̀ again ni pé, what actually do you want? Do you want a society, a country where you can question your leaders, you can question the politicians, you can question the ministers, you can question your representatives? Or do you still want to remain in a country where you don't have a say? You cannot speak out because to Basoro, DSS, I don't think I want to live in that kind of country. I would rather remain in this code for the next 300 years, for the next 400 years, for the next 40, 60 years, than come to Nigeria where when you are asking questions, you become a target. You become where people are asking, Kilode to Mberi. Because ìyà ti mú yín débi pé tá bá ń sọ fún yín pé ìyà lẹ ń jẹ nílé, ìyà tẹ̀dẹ̀ ń jẹ nílé yẹn ẹ wá lè think, àwa là ń bá yín think. And this is why some of us are saying that the country is not working. This is a country that the British put together in 1914 that has literally failed every one of us. So while we are now saying that there's another opportunity, what is the opportunity? Let's come on the round table ní ó ní kò gbọdọ̀ láti dìjà. We don't have to fight our way out. In terms of ni pé tá a bá ní a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation kò ń ṣe pé jà là ń béèrè. But ẹ̀yin tá a wá ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin fúnra ara yín ẹ̀ ní access sí nǹkan táwa ti rí. Àwa làwa ń gbé níta, àwa la mọ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níta. A mọ̀ pé níta details, how things are operated, I'm sure, how things are done. But unfortunately, púpọ̀ nù yín ṣe lẹ̀ ń bá wa jà. Púpọ̀ nù yín ṣe lẹ̀ ń kódà ẹ̀yin gan lẹ tó wá jẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ̀ ń support àwọn olóṣèlú. Ẹ̀yin gangan lẹ̀ ń fún àwọn olóṣèlú lágbára. Because ẹ̀yin gangan lẹ̀ ń sọ fún wọn pé olóṣèlú ẹ máa fìyà jẹ wá. Èmi tó wá ń bí láàárọ̀ yìí. Ṣé ìyàlẹ́ fẹ́ jẹ kú ni àbí báwo? Ẹ̀yin náà ẹ wo background yẹn nísìn. Let me show you the background. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní bíbá. Can you see the background? Right? Look at the background this morning. This is what London looks like, this morning. If you look at the background, right? You can see the background. So, gbogbo tẹ́ wá ń rí kò ń ṣe magic. Gbogbo tẹ́ ń rí kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n ṣẹ̀ lọ ń pe a ṣe máa ṣàdúrà títí. It is a process. Process yẹn ni kò sí ní Nàìjíríà láti 1960 because foundation Nàìjíríà wà faulty. Inti foundation ẹ̀ bá dẹ̀ ti wà faulty, irọ́ ló wà níbẹ̀, kò sótítọ́. Ìdí táwa kan ṣe wá sọ pé no, enough is enough, let us start asking questions. Mo kí wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, like I said, we are not gonna stay too long because the weather is not very smiling here. So I gotta go back inside. Tí bá padà sínú ilé, I will do a lot of small streaming. I might not be able to speak, but you will monitor the conversation. So it has to be on KOIKIMEDIA. And it will stream on all the other platforms. But later on, I will come out again, probably maybe in the next, in the next 1 hour. I'll come out again and I'll come and talk to you, and then we will be able to, review, what we have been talking about when it comes to Yoruba Nation. So for now, I can relax there, and then I come out later on and we'll be talking as well. So Moki. Ẹ̀yin yan wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé odò àgbéwà kò ní gbé ọ̀dàlẹ̀. Mo kí bàbá Akíntóyè dáadáa fún àkíyèsí wọn. The noble goal to the noble path is Yoruba Nation. Anything less than that, you are wasting your time. Mo kí ẹ Sọ́nkè, ìyá mi Abọ́sẹ̀dé, mo kí ẹ Maize Gold, mo kí yín, mo kí bàbá wa Akínládé, mo kí yín ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa àtẹ̀yìntẹ́ máa láǹfààní àti wò. Like I said, I gotta go inside now. But later on, because my laptop is inside and I'm still live inside as well. But Muripe Network came out to disconnect. Yes, we choose the noble path to pursue our noble goal to achieve freedom and prosperity. Teba fẹ́ prosperity, kò lè sí nínú Nigeria. The prosperity that we want now has to be inside the Yoruba country. So that is how far we can go. Let us just have an idea. We're right inside the COVID Inquiry Center, where KOIKIMEDIA will be streaming from there. I'll be picking on their channel and stream it out. We'll be there for probably another maybe half an hour, 1 hour. Then I'm going to come out. Then I'm going to show you Paddington area. Let's do that for now. Have a very good morning. Mukibu Wale and Conceal. Shout out. Bye for now. So, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yẹn. Ẹ tún bá wa béèrè lọ́wọ́ Nigerians. How many inquiries ni wọ́n ti ṣe ní Nigeria, and what has been the outcome of those inquiries? Many inquiries, but there hasn't been any, any development to those inquiries. Mo kí ẹ ní Miami, Easy Dollar, mo kí Kunle Bakers, mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣiṣẹ́ o, mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ GR1, mo kí gbogbo different organizations that are working tirelessly, to give, the Yoruba people, what it comes to information. Mo kí Yoruba World Media, mo kí Home-Based Media, mo kí every one of us. Oduama Gbewa, Yoruba Nation. It is a message that some of us, it doesn't matter how difficult, how painful it is the only way. Baba Minister Fab, Muki, good morning as well. Muki Intawani, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Muki Sami Japan, Muki Intawani, Canada, Muki Intawani, America, Muki Intawani, Turkey, Muki Intawani, Ile Yoruba, Muki Kibugomo in Nigeria. The question is, I saw a little lórí Naija Voices, 26 trillion. Do you think that can bring Nigeria back up and running? Or do you think that the country itself has failed As far as we are concerned, Nigeria is not working. I think somebody's coming. You can tell when, I'm including this thing. So it looks like, when you see journalists running like that, you can tell that somebody has actually arrived. But I'm aware that, these are former member of parliament, I guess so. So we down low. So it's gonna go inside. So take a little bit of warmth. Then later on we'll be talking as well. Yoruba Nation not going back. Yoruba Nation for life. Olayomi Koiki reporting for KOIKIMEDIA, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Right inside 26 trillion for consumption. So right inside or opposite, the building of the COVID inquiry. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.